Is it a bird? Is it a plane? I mean, it could well be for all we know, but what we do know is that there are 2 new jobs coming to Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail next year, and from the small hints that we've been given from the keynote speech at FanFest Las Vegas, we can guess and speculate at what might be coming from Warrior of Light and the gang's best summer vacay ever. Still don't know about that tonal shift, but more on that another time. In the days since the keynote speech, tons of people have made their guesses as to what these 2 jobs could be, so I'm gonna throw my 2 cents into the ring and give you my unwanted opinion so you can all tell me how wrong I am in the comments down below. Yeah, I know everyone got their thoughts out about 5 minutes after the trailer dropped, but you know what? I like to take my time with these things. Now what we do know is that we have 2 jobs on the horizon, both DPS, 1 melee, 1 magical ranged, and Yoshi-P has already likely given us a hint with the t-shirt that he wore for his speech, strenuous though it may be. I mean, come on Stormblood, Spider-Man equals Sam Raimi equals Samurai, that's quite the stretch. So no tanks or healers this time around, which does make me a little sad as a healer main, but we did get Sage not too long ago in Endwalker, so I'm likely going to stick with that for Dawntrail as my personal main job. Side note, I get told a lot that healers have serious bottom energy, and I'm gonna tell you just now, that is definitely not always the case. So I'm gonna start with one pick that I absolutely think is not on the cards at all, which is Green Mage. Now, come on, don't you think that's a little bit on the nose? Sure, Yoshi-P is wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja, or hero if you're British, turtles and like t-shirt, and Green Mages in the likes of Final Fantasy Tactics, as you can see here, do indeed cast Shell as one of their primary things, so green, Shell, sure, but if it turns out to be this, I'll be really shocked indeed. When have any of the other reveals we've had from these keynote speeches ever been this basic? The same goes for Time Mage as well. We already have Astrologian, which is a super cool spin on that format, so why explore it in such a basic fashion? Of course, don't get me wrong, I'm very happy to be wrong on both of these counts, but it just doesn't make sense to me personally. So here's the obvious picks that you've probably heard a billion times already with Corsair. The trailer, as I'm clicking through here, shows like a journey at sea with Meteor, which is the name of the Warrior of Light in these trailers. It's not Ardbert, that is a different character, in a cloaked outfit that brandishes a singular sword, as we see during some of the combat bits that we see here, before the cloak is burned away and thrown off to reveal, well, something before the trailer cuts away. I actually cannot wait to see what this turns out to be at London FanFest, which I'll be at, so feel free to come and say hi. Given the obvious tones of the trailer, one can even take the Teenage Mutant Ninja the TMN t-shirt, we're going to call it, you see what I did there, to be a Pirates versus Ninjas reference. Whether this job gets and ends up being named something like Corsair, like it was in 11, Swashbuckler, Duelist, or straight up something like Pirate remains to be seen, but I think it'd be super cool to have like a thief class that's separate from ninja, that shares the scouting gear type like Reaper did for maiming and Endwalker, and it'll be interesting to see how a single sword with ranged weapon differentiates itself from Red Mage, which does a similar thing. Now, another popular choice that I've seen coming from the TMN t-shirt is the idea of a painter or pictomancer. People have taken this idea from the names of the turtles, namely Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael, all being the names of famous artists across history. And I can see the logic in that, and it wouldn't be the first time a Final Fantasy game's explored this type of job either, having Realm, as you can see here, from Final Fantasy VI as a sort of cross between a summoner and a blue mage, sketching her enemies to use their attacks against them. It's not an uncommon thing in media like anime to see characters use art as a weapon, and I'd love to see how this translated into Final Fantasy XIV. It's a darn sight more interesting than Arithmetician in Final Fantasy Tactics anyway. And before you say anything, yes, I know Arithmetician was broken in FF Tactics, do not come for me, I want the flavour of an artist, damn it. A job that I've seen a lot of FF14 players clamouring for, and to be honest, I think it's pretty cool as well, given that I'm a massive fan of Final Fantasy V, is Beastmaster. Even Hironobu Sakaguchi has gone on record saying he wants Beastmaster in Final Fantasy XIV. And if you really want to dive into the TMN t-shirt, there might actually be some merit to this. So if you dive into the fact that Splinter, the sensei of the turtles, is a rat man, a beast man, if you will, and is master to the turtles, a Beastmaster, yeah? Or we can go even further and look at the creators of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, namely one Kevin B. Eastman, who... B. Eastman? Beastman? Beastmaster? Oh, come on. If Spider-Man can equal Samurai, I don't think it's that much of a stretch. Looking at that trailer again at the Cloaked Meteor, another job that a lot of people would love to see, again, myself included, would be something akin to the Mystic Knight or Spellblade class that we've seen in previous Final Fantasies. A character like Celeste, again from Final Fantasy VI, who uses magic as both a way to ward off attacks like Runic, and can also imbue her attacks with elemental properties. Mystic Knight in Final Fantasy V also accomplishes this. Now, while I would love this to be the case, I personally don't think that it's a likely job, just due to how similar it would end up being to the existing Red Mage job. Similarly to how I feel about Time Mage, and it begs the question of what Meteor's even hiding under the cloak if it's just a single sword job. But it's definitely something I think would be cool to see something like that in the future. To be honest with you, before going forward, I would actually sort of fall off my chair laughing if the TMN t-shirt turned out to be literally nothing and it's just Yoshi-P saying, I actually just quite like this t-shirt, didn't really want to make that much of a fuss about it. One job I did look at that I thought would be very interesting actually hasn't been massively referred to within the game itself, but there is a character that makes me think that it could be a viable option, and I have spoken with other FF14 players as to whether they would like to see something like this, which is Geomancer. And I come to Geomancer based on the fact that Erenville is present in the trailer quite heavily for Dawntrail. So he, being an agricultural sort of like geologist, suggests that maybe there's some sort of geomagic present within Final Fantasy XIV. We've seen how he acted in sort of Labyrinthos and things like that. So maybe there is some element of Geomancer, like maybe because the turtles live in a sewer. I don't know. I just thought that there was something cool there to at least note when it came to Erenville and the potential for a Geomancer job. Now, the last job that I thought about for Dawntrail was focusing on a particular word when it came to the TMN t-shirt. And it's not the fact that they're green, it's not the fact that they're turtles, it's the mutant part that I was curious about. Now, we've seen characters in Final Fantasies previously undergo mutations and transformations like Kuja and Zidane in Final Fantasy IX or Terra in Final Fantasy VI. I swear I'm not just an FF6 fanboy. I just think these particular references are applicable. And it'd be really cool to see something along the lines of like Esper or Trance or, I don't know, something along those lines that give mutant. I'd even argue that something like this being the melee class and not the ranged magic class would be really interesting, because outside of Red Mage, we've never really seen a melee magic job before. What are you most excited to see from Dawntrail? Is it the graphical update, the new content, the tonal shift, as I spoke about earlier? It is quite a dramatic change from massive nihilism to yay, best summer vacay ever though. And let me know what kinds of things you want to see from me with regards to Final Fantasy XIV as well. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications on future videos I'm making on Final Fantasy, JRPGs, and all sorts of other gaming content if you'd like to see more from me. And we're trying to kick the YouTube algorithm up the butt at the moment, so any likes and subscribes are massively appreciated right now. If you would like to support the channel further, perhaps consider joining these lovely people that you can see on the screen right here in joining my Patreon. Get a title card made for just you by me with your favorite JRPG character on there, and you'd be supporting me as a full-time content creator, which is hugely appreciated, and I thank you very much in advance for checking out the link in the description box below if that's something that interests you. And that's going to be all from me for today. Let me know, as I say, what kinds of things you're thinking are going to come from FF14 Dawntrail, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thanks for stopping by, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.